Hey everybody, this is episode 2 of the Puncher's Chance MMA podcast, where we'll be reviewing um, UFC Fight Night Island, Kattar versus Ige. Um, Fights took place on Wednesday, July 15th. Um, Overall, pretty good fight card. Say a lot of contenders emerged, or a lot of promising additions to the UFC emerged. But yeah, there's a lot of good fights. Um, First fight of the night was Jack Shore versus Aaron Phillips. Um, Jack Shore, undefeated fighter, 12-0. Big, I think he was the biggest favorite on the card. Minus 800 favorite versus Aaron Phillips, plus 550 underdog. Bantamweight bout, round one. Shore looks for the takedown early, big slam, takes his back, lands some big shots, huge knee in the clinch, and it's pretty much all Shore in the first round. Big grappling and strength advantage for Shore, for sure. um, and Same with the second round. Jack was able to time the kick with well, he actually caught the kick, took him down, passed his guard, took his back, sunk in the rear naked choke, and that was it. It was pretty quick work by Jack Shore. He's a promising fighter from Wales. He just for this weight class, I feel like it's got like a big strength advantage, good grappling, good jiu-jitsu. And it was pretty apparent, his minus 800 favorite status was definitely justified. I would grade the fight a B. It was a fun fight to watch. It's good to see. It's fun to watch good grappling like that. So yeah, I graded the fight a B. And second fight of the night was Diana Beltbita versus Liana Jojua. Diana, a new Romanian fighter, versus Liana, fighter from Georgia, flyweight bout. Diana actually came in as the favorite, minus 210 favorite. Both girls, pretty young, they're mid-20s. Round one started off. Fight started off with some pretty good combination by Beltbita. She landed a couple of strikes and shot in for a takedown. And Jojua was quickly looking for an armbar right away off of her back. Sank it in and just was cranking on it. It took a while for her to finally get a good angle on it, but just shows great flexibility by Beltbita. She was able to kind of maneuver her way out of it, but eventually Liana was able to get the tap. Really nice technique. Super quick fight. Graded an A. It was, wasn't a very long fight, so it's definitely one to watch. Super quick and good jiu-jitsu. Third fight of the night was Jared Gordon versus Chris Fishgold. Jared came in at 15-4. Chris Fishgold had a record of 18-3-1. Fishgold did miss weight, and this was a featherweight bout. Jared came in as a minus 150 favorite. Gordon was able to drag Fishgold down pretty early, and Fishgold was able to kind of reverse it a little bit. Gordon went for a guillotine, kind of uses it back to get back up to his feet. Good elbow, good uppercut, and a good elbow for Fishgold. Gordon was then able to shoot for a takedown, and Fishgold kind of went for a guillotine. Gordon pulled out of it and was able to finish the round on top with some good ground and pound. I would say Gordon won the first round. Second round, Gordon was able to take down Fishgold pretty early, and then Fishgold seemed to kind of go for the guillotine. He didn't really fight the takedowns, and it came out to kind of not help him in this fight. I think if he would have tried to create more scrambles, he would have done a little better and not getting taken down so easily. But once he kind of sunk in that guillotine, just kind of submitted to being in the guard, or putting Gordon in the guard. It's just he kind of gave up the position. Gordon was able to eventually pass into side control, north-south, threatened with the Kimura. Fishgold was eventually able to regain his guard, and then Gordon landed some good shots, stayed busy on top, was able to land some good elbows, but pretty much a dominant second round for Gordon. Has really good wrestling, came in like he was in really, really good shape. It didn't even look like he was breathing hard. And going into round 3, Fishgold came out very, very aggressive, and you have to figure he had to figure he was down 2 rounds. Gordon had a deep shot, good sprawl by Fishgold, but Gordon was eventually able to snap him down. Then there was a pretty good reversal by Fishgold, who kind of used it to get back up. But yeah, just really aggressive, just really going for a finish. Gordon was able to land some good combos. Fishgold actually shot for a takedown, where Gordon sprawled and took his back. And at this point, it looked like Chris Fishgold was pretty much tired and gassed. So Gordon just kind of got on top and kind of sunk one hook in and just kind of hammered away for the rest of the bout. Fishgold was just kind of got stuck in the turtle position. Was able to get back to his back a little bit. Where Gordon was able to land some good elbows, good hammer fists. And Gordon was able to do a really good job of trapping Fishgold's left arm with his left leg. Kind of like sinking the hook in, trapping his arm at the same time. And was able to do some really good damage to Chris Fishgold. But yeah, it was pretty much a dominant win for Jared Flash Gordon. He got the unanimous decision. To grade the fight, a scene, not a whole lot of exciting exchanges and action, but both guys were definitely going for it, and it was a good fight all around. Fight after that was between it was a light heavyweight bout between Modestas Bukauskas versus Andreas Michailidis. Bukauskas came in at 10-2, was a favorite, minus 155 favorite. Lithuanian fellow fighting out of England. Big guy for the light heavyweight division. And he was fighting Andreas, Greek fighter, 12-3, 135 underdog. This is a good fight. Andreas came out. He looked really light on his feet. It was kind of bouncing around, and Modestas was landing kind of a kick heavy attack. Andreas, I remember he landed a really good body kick. Modestas landed a good heavy kick in return. Andreas fired back with some of his own. Kind of both guys exchanging in a kickboxing match. Andreas then started getting his hands in the mix. And you could see a big difference in the two fighters. Modestas was a little more bouncy. He was kind of all over the place, while Andreas was very heavy footed and kind of just methodically plodding forward. It was two big guys landing some pretty good shots, and late in the round, Andreas shot for a takedown, and Modestas cracked him with those Travis Brown elbows to the side of the head, right as the round was ending, and the fight the broadcast, it actually went into commercial break, so it wasn't until it came back that the fight was called off. Andreas had protested that the elbows were to the back of the head, but the referee he was looking at it pretty closely and said no, those were illegal elbows, and they showed in the replay that after the elbow exchanges, Andreas sat back, and as the corners were coming in, the door was swinging open, and he kind of stumbled out of the cage. So as soon as the referee saw that, he just called the fight. So Andreas was still kind of complaining about the elbows. He felt that they were to the back of the head, but to show the replay, it seemed like they were pretty legit elbows, pretty clean. But yeah, I like the fight for as long as it went. I graded the fight a B. It was definitely want to see Andreas again, and Modestas, I think he's going to be tough for a lot of guys. And both guys are pretty young. Modestas only 26 and Andreas 31, so I'd like to see, and both of them have pretty good records, so I'd like to see both of them fight again. All right. The next fight was Ricardo Ramos versus Lerone Murphy. Ricardo came in at 14-2. Lerone Murphy was 8-0 with one draw. Featherweight bout. Lerone came in as the underdog. He was plus 145 underdog, fighting out of Manchester, England. And Ricardo Ramos was a minus 165 favorite, fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Yeah, this was a really fun fight. Ramos came out, super flashy kicks, landed some good body kicks, some good leg kicks. I remember Ramos landing 3 straight kicks at one point, and Lerone was looking more for a boxing attack. Ramos then engages in the clinch and is able to take Lerone's back and lands a sneaky knee from that kind of that back angle. Ramos then puts Lerone in a tie clinch, lands some good knees. And then Lerone attacks to the body, and then Ramos was throwing this crazy little like even the broadcasters couldn't even say what it was. They were saying that it was dangerous for him to throw it, but it was this tricky attack where he would step off with his left leg, and then he would swing his right leg back behind it, and then he would kick Lerone with that back leg. It was really, really unusual attack, and I landed it like 3 times in the fight. It was kind of a funny attack. Then Murphy went for the takedown, and much to the announcers dismay, they were like, "Why is this guy taking him down? It doesn't make any sense." They wanted to see Lerone more going more for a boxing attacks, but he was able to take him down, and Ramos was able to kind of use that momentum and roll over back on top of Lerone. And then both fighters eventually scrambled up, and then Lerone went for another takedown, and this is where he was able to land just a beautiful elbow that when they showed it on the replay, you could see kind of really, really stunned Ramos. His eyes kind of rolled back and his head hit the canvas, and it was kind of like the beginning of the end. And then he was able to land a couple more right hands and pretty much finished. The ref stepped in and stopped the fight via ground and pound. But yeah, a really exciting fight though. Both fighters super athletic and very talented. I'd like to see both fighters fight again. I graded this fight an A. But yeah, it was just funny to see Lerone going for the takedown when Ricardo seemed had a bigger advantage as far as jiu-jitsu wise, but yeah, it was a really good fight. And the fight after that was middleweight bout. John Phillips versus Khamazat Chimaev. Really, really good fight. I mean, it was pretty one-sided, but John Phillips came in with the 22-9 record, won no contest, was a big underdog, a plus 320 underdog, and Khamazat fights out of Stockholm, but I'm pretty sure he's a fighter from Kazakhstan, if I'm not mistaken. But he was a minus 400 favorite, 6-0 undefeated fighter. Round 1 started with John just coming straight out, and Chimaev shot for a takedown and just took him down, dragged him to the fence, cracked him with elbows and punches. Phillips was able to kind of work himself to the fence and starts kind of attempting a like walk up off the fence, but Khamazat wasn't having any of it. He just starts unloading on Phillips and just left punches. Starts landing all these left punches, and you can see Phillips start wearing it. Phillips is able to eventually get back up. But yeah, Khamazat's just like kind of via like not to the extent of Khabib, but just overwhelmed him kind of in that manner. And you could tell like when they were talking to him post fight, he was talked about smashing guys and stuff, but yeah, he just continued to punish him with big shots, and Phillips is eventually able to kind of work to his back, but he's just getting beat up there as well. I think one of the judges had it. One of the judges scored that first round at 10-7. So yeah, that's how bad it was. And then round 2 started, and Chimaev just shot and got the takedown right away. And Phillips rolled over to his stomach, and Chimaev just landed a sunk in the Darth choke, and that was pretty much it. Phillips tapped pretty quickly, but I really liked Chimaev. I really liked the way he came out there and took care of business and just put a beating on Phillips. It was fun to watch. I graded the fight a B just for. I mean, it wasn't very competitive, but it was fun to see. Chimaev, he's a very exciting fighter. You want to see him fight his next fight. And he was talking to Dana after the fight, and once he was talking to John Anik after, he was like, "I'm ready to fight next week. I'll fight tomorrow." I'm like, I want fights. I want to fight. And I hear that this guy, he used to fight at welterweight, but nobody would fight him, so he moved up to middleweight. So he's definitely a guy to keep your eye on. That's Khamazat Chimaev, proves to 7-0. Another really exciting fight was the fight after that. Abdul, Razak, Alhassan versus Mounir, Lazzez. Really, really good fight. Welterweight bout. Alhassan came in at 10-1. He was actually a pretty big favorite, minus 350 favorite. Although he did miss weight. Fighter from Ghana fights out of the United States. Versus Yeah, Lazzez was really, really, really good fight. Um, Lazzez came out as a plus 285 underdog fighter fighting out of Dubai. Um, first round started with Alhassan just coming out and just blasting Lazzez. Just I think Alhassan has gotten a lot of first round finishes, so I think he fighters once they get used to that, they're just like, that's what I'm gonna go for. But he came out, and you got to give Lazzez credit because he really withstood a bunch of punches. He came out, Alhassan came out super aggressive, and Lazzez just kind of covered up and was shooting occasional stepping in knee to the body, but he was kind of just covering up for the first like 30 seconds. Um, and Lazzez is just like smiling at him, and then Lazzez starts firing back with elbows and low kicks and doesn't seem to be hurt at all. Both guys trade elbows, and then Lazzez lands these lands two like swinging in knees to the body. Really, really good technique for Lazzez. Beautiful kicks. And towards the end of the first round, it seems that Alhassan is starting to slow down. But it's a furious pace that these two guys are putting on. Lazzez is also starting to check a lot of the kicks that Alhassan is throwing. And Lazzez has this really unusual, unusual elbow that he throws. It's like I think Michael Bisping called it an advancing left elbow, and he'll throw it out, and he's landing it on Alhassan, and then Lazzez is able to shoot for a takedown late in the round, and probably ends up winning him that first round. But yeah, just really, really exciting first round. Round two, both guys came out throwing leg kicks. Lazzez lands a good combo, starts a barrage of punches that kind of stuns Alhassan, kind of pushes him back to the cage. And Lazzez pressures forward. Alhassan's kind of his turn to covering up in the fence, and Lazzez just kind of landing shots to the body, and Alhassan is just kind of covering up. But then he comes back and fires off these big shots that kind of stops Lazzez from going so hard. Lazzez then shoots for the takedown, and they start kind of getting in these positions where this is kind of where I didn't agree, but I think it was just kind of the referee trying to make the fight more exciting. But he started standing up these guys, like he would tell them improve your positions, but the guys like in side control, and Alhassan would try to sink in a guillotine, but it was really kind of just like a stalling technique, and the referee like stood him up twice, and like even the broadcasters were like, what's going on? Like, you're not even letting them work. But Lazzez was able to show that he's got some pretty good takedowns, and he was able to land some good elbows and some good knees to the body. And definitely won the round for him. And then round 3, Alhassan actually shoots for the takedown, and Lazzez kind of times it and lands this really good knee, but he gets taken down, Lazzez that is, and uses the fence to get back up. And then he turns back around and takes Alhassan down, and then same thing with the guillotine again. Alhassan is kind of using the guillotine as a stalling technique, but eventually Lazzez is able to get into side control and lands like some pretty big elbows. Alhassan is able to get back up and able to land some huge shots right at the end of the fight. But overall, really, really good fight. I was really excited to to see Lazzez. There was kind of some buzz going in with this guy. Both guys were really exciting. But I'm really excited to see his next fight. He actually ended up calling out Mike Perry in the post-fight interview with John Anik. But Lazzez did get the nod. Definitely an A+ for this fight. Fireworks galore. Both guys really didn't slow down either. It's too big. Alhassan's a big, solid dude. And Lazzez is more of a taller guy, but kicks and knees and elbows of Lazzez, very, very, very impressed by that guy. Both guys, I want to see. I definitely want to watch both guys fight in the next fight. Fight after that was Molly McCann versus Taila Santos, flyweight bout. Molly came in as the -150 favorite, record of 10-2. Fighter out of England. Taila Santos was a +130 underdog with the record of 15-1. First round started with Molly just running at Taila, and Taila just kind of sitting back and started throwing some really hard, heavy leg kicks. Molly lands some good counters towards the beginning of the fight. And then Santos lands 2 brutal knees to the body. McCann then seems like she's going for more of a boxing attack while Santos is throwing more kicks. What I noticed, Molly, she was doing a lot of stance switching, and it might have been to confuse Santos from throwing like the body kicks or something, because Santos, I mean, it didn't work because Santos was throwing these brutal body kicks. And eventually Santos she got cut above her left eye. Santos landing good leg kicks. Molly at one point puts her head down. Santos's knees are just brutal knee to the head. Molly's going to that switch where she kind of like a rush switch that Jorge Masvidal put on Darren Till. she keeps going for that where she just rushes Santos with it. And yeah, just a furious paces that first round. And then Santos is able to get her in a tie clinch, and she's able to do really good work in there. And Molly's able to break with the really nice elbow after she kind of went for a takedown. And then Santos turns around and shoots on Molly, picks her up and slams her to the floor. And then Molly gets back up, and Santos again lands sinks in the tie clinch and lands some good knees. Good back and forth, kind of a toss-up round. Molly lands the better of the punches. Santos lands better of the kicks, but kind of have to give it to Santos with the takedowns and the really good knees in the clinch. Second round, again, and I mean, these girls really put on a pace out there. It was they came out very aggressive. Good body kicks by Santos. Good knee from Molly in the clinch as Santos fights the takedown. And then Santos is able to turn Molly around. That's a big knee of her own. Another big kick to the body by Santos. Santos then gets the takedown, and then she's able to mount. She lands a good elbow. She sinks in a Darce choke, and it looks like it's pretty tight, but she doesn't really have it all in, and Molly's able to kind of slip out of it. Santos kind of drags her back down and lands a really good elbow. Another 2 elbows after that. And that was the end of round 2. That was definitely a round for Santos. Round 3, McCann comes out, Molly comes out, and she's just boxing. She's in and out, and she's trying to land as much as there's definitely basically like she needs to stop. She's kind of going for it, and Santos uses that aggression. She throws up a knee right up the middle. It seems to connect right to Molly's chin. And it seems like at this point Santos is kind of just playing. She's no longer trying to be first. She's just kind of counter Molly. At this point, Molly's eye is starting to swell up from those elbows that she caught in the last round. And Molly's like just a sense of urgency about her. She starts landing punches, and Santos is able to land some good kicks to the body. Santos is able to again close the distance and drags Molly down to the mat. She uses like a body lock, and then just kind of change the angle and just kind of ragdoll Molly down. And then there, Santos, it's pretty apparent that she has a pretty clear advantage on the mat. She eventually takes her back, and it's just kind of landing some good shots from there. But it's pretty much all Taila Santos those last 2 rounds. First round could have gone either way, but overall I graded it a B fight. A B. It was it was a good fight to watch. It was very exciting, a lot of back and forth. There's definitely no stalling, so it was good to see the two girls really going for it. And Molly's I like watching her fight. She's just kind of always going for it. And but yeah, it was unanimous nod for Taila. Good fight. Fight after that was Jimmie Rivera versus Cody Stamann. Jimmie's fun fighter to watch. Both guys normally bantamweights. They came in at they chose to fight at 145, so featherweight bout. Jimmie came in a minus 120 favorite, and Cody was a plus 100 underdogs, pretty much even. But from my understanding, Jimmie had like no camp. He was talking about he had like a couple of days to prepare. But I was interested to watch this fight. Round one started with Rivera landed some big leg kicks. Cody landed a pretty good right. Big right hand to the body by Rivera, and good inside leg kicks early on by Rivera. Cody ends up catching one of the kicks and is able to take Jimmie down temporarily. Lands a few punches in the process. And then Cody throws a kick of his own, and Jimmie catches it and lands a big right and takes Cody down. They scramble up, and Jimmie's able to land some good knees to the thigh in the clinch. And another good leg kick by Jimmie. Good left counter by Jimmie towards the end of the round. Close round, but I would judge it to I would give it to Rivera that first round. Round two. Cody's able to get the body lock and slam Rivera. Jimmie bounces right back up and takes Cody down. Rivera lands some good punches to the body and then a good knee as well. You can see Rivera has a big speed advantage. I would say Stamann maybe it was a little stronger in the clinch, but Jimmie maybe has better technique. But you could see he wasn't himself. He didn't have like the stamina that he does in the past. If you remember, Rivera's last fight was against Peter Yan, where he was doing really, really well. Got caught late in the third round, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Jimmie's landing that inside leg kick that's really starting to wear on Cody. And you see the inside of his leg is just beet red. Jimmie is able to land some good counters, big left counter. You can see that he's landing the crisper shots and doing more damage to Cody. Cody's definitely wearing damage more so than Jimmie. Jimmie's landing a lot more shots as well. Jimmie's also landing a lot of leg kicks. And Jimmie lands a good right hand and then Cody shoots a flying knee. That's like a kind of a grazing. Didn't really land flush. And then Jimmie lands a good hook to the body, good left hook to the body, and then lands this beautiful right hand left hook right as the round ends. Round 3 starts off with a really good left hook by Jimmie. And then Cody starts kind of establishing his jab. He's got a really nice jab. I wish I would have seen him thrown that jab more. And then Cody shoots in for a takedown, but Jimmie does a really good job of defending, where he's pretty much bouncing on one leg and kind of bouncing back to the fence and able to defend that way. Jimmie lands some good knees in the clinch. Another really good right by Jimmie Rivera. As you can see, most of the strikes are Jimmie, and if you look at the strikes as the fight was going, it was heavily in favor of Jimmie Rivera. And Jimmie hits Cody with the beautiful inside out leg kick combination. And Cody shoots for some more takedowns that Jimmie's able to stuff. And Jimmie starts battering Cody as Cody's still kind of going for the takedown. Cody counters with a good 1-2. Jimmie counters with the right of his own. Cody counters with the right as Jimmie swings wide. Then Jimmie lands a big right uppercut and a left hook as the fight ends. Jimmie gets the unanimous decision. Both guys a little hesitant in this fight. I think this is the second fight by Cody Stamann, fought last month if I'm not mistaken, so I'm sure both guys weren't able to get really good caps for this. So I still graded it a B. It was still a pretty entertaining fight. It definitely wasn't a boring fight, but these guys would definitely put on better performances with better caps. And the fight after that was Tim Elliott versus Ryan Benoit. Tim Elliott at 16-11-1, minus 150 favorite. Then Ryan Benoit is at 10-6, plus 130 underdog. Elliott is the same crazy self. Comes out pressing Benoit. Starts like flinging his lead leg. Benoit catches Elliott with a beautiful right hand. And then left high kick combination. Really, really good combination. That just echoes through the building. Benoit has really good hands and has like a really nice snapping jab. And he follows it up with a good right hand. So you can see Ryan Benoit is coming out with crisper strikes, and Elliott is kind of just throwing his attacks out there, but he's looking for the takedown. Elliott lands a pretty good elbow in the clinch. Benoit lands a really nice left to the body and a jab after that. Elliott then takes Benoit down temporarily, but Benoit uses a leg bar to kind of get back on his feet. And then Elliott's able to take down Benoit late and lands some ground and pound. Because of that really good combination that Benoit landed, I gave him that first round. And then round 2, Benoit came out with 2 huge body kicks. Elliott's tough, man. He's a dog. Both guys exchange good counters. And then Benoit lands a good uppercut. Benoit then shoots for a takedown. Elliott sinks in the guillotine, turns it into a mounted guillotine. Benoit gets out. Benoit eventually regains his guard and goes again for a leg bar. And it seems like he's got it. It's like super tight. You can see Elliott grimacing in pain. But he eventually gets out. Both men kind of scramble back up. Benoit lands a big left and right to Elliott. Elliott's landing way more strikes, but Benoit's doing a lot more damage and is landing the bigger shots. So it's tough that round. I wanted to give it to Benoit, but Elliott just seemed to be the more active fighter, landing more strikes. Round 3 was pretty much all Elliott. He was landing good elbows, working his jab. And at one point, seemed to have dislocated a finger. He's like keeps putting his hands down, but to try to adjust it, pop it back in. And Benoit just starts landing shots, starts firing off shots. And Elliott gets stunned, and Benoit starts just kind of teeing off on him. But even then, Elliott's landing more shots. He's landing jabs, kicks, front kicks. It's just they're not doing a whole lot of damage, but he's landing more shots. And he's awarded a unanimous decision, much to Benoit's. He was like pissed off at the end of the fight. He thought for sure he had won that fight. But yeah, the fight went to Elliott. So and then that was the co-main event. The main event was Calvin Kattar versus Dan Ige. Kattar came in at 21-4, was a -290 favorite, and Ige was a +245 underdog. Round 1 started with Kattar just kind of taking it easy, trying to find his timing, finding distance. It was all Ige like the first minute and a half. Ige landed some good leg kicks, good jab, good body shots, and then Kattar started opening up through right-left uppercut combo that just was picture perfect. I mean, Kattar, everybody talks about his boxing being like one of the best boxing in the UFC, and he was on display tonight. Just killer right to the body by Kattar, just really, really good technique. And it causes Ige to shoot immediately. It's like he felt his shots and he was like, no. And then Kattar's throwing this front kick that kind of as a deterrent for Ige for the takedown. But you can see already Dan, he's already got a shiner in his right eye. But Ige lands a good counter. Both guys exchange body punches. Ige lands some really good counters. Kattar finishes with the flying knee and 3 beautiful punches, like body punches, and then another up top as the round ends. Just a really exciting end to the first round. Round 2 started with Ige throwing his. He had this really nice left hook to the body, and then right to the. No, I'm sorry. It was right to the body, and then a left hook to the head. That was really, really nice. He started off round 2 with the left hook to the body, and then a left hook to the head, and yeah, that was really, really nice. Kattar landed a good right counter, and then Dan was able to land some really good leg kicks. And then I think at that point it was when Dan landed the right hook to the body, left hook upstairs, and he, like, you could tell, instantly broke Kattar's nose, who had his nose broken not that long ago in the Jeremy Stephens fight. So you could tell it started bleeding, and it's like pretty sure it broke it again. Yeah, Kattar with had a really good jab, started establishing that second round. Both guys again landing really good counters, and then Kattar misses with that big flying knee, but I would say second round to Dan. So maybe round the piece after 2. Round 3 started with Kattar landing some good leg kicks. Ige returns the favor. Ige going back to that right to the body, left up top. He's doing a really good job. Dan is doing a really good job of going to the body. Seems to be getting his timing and distance down on Kattar. Kattar seems a little bit slower right now than Dan, and he's having a hard time catching up with Ige. It seems like Ige's got a speed advantage. Kattar then lands a few right hands that back Ige up. And then Ige starts attacking the body again. At this point, you could tell Dan he's starting to, these punches are starting to have an effect on him. His face starts swelling up, and Kattar actually gets a little cut over his right eye. Close round, but I would say Kattar landed more strikes than Ige, and landed the bigger shots. Round 4, Ige goes for the takedown. Kattar kind of shucks him off. Kattar lands 2 giant shots, and then he lands a big elbow on the floor. Kattar with a good left. Kattar starts landing some good leg kicks, and this round seems like Dan is starting to slow down. Both fighters, if you see both fighters, you tell for sure that Dan is getting there's more damage on Dan than there is on Kattar. So again, another round to Kattar. Round 3, Kattar looks a lot fresher. Ige is looking tired. Kattar lands a nice right counter. Kattar's kind of getting loose with his jab. Now he's timing it really, really well. And he's defending nicely. He's pretty much closed Dan's right eye up. Dan shoots for takedowns, and again, Kattar stops those. At that point, in the round 5, Dan was like 0 for 7 takedowns. Kattar lands a knee, big knee, and is landing big shots as the fight ends. And probably another round for Kattar. So had the fight 4 rounds to 1 for Kattar. So Kattar ended up getting the unanimous decision. But overall, it was a pretty good fight card. There was a lot of main event was a high level chess match. Pretty excited to see Jack Shore fight again. That guy's he's a tank for sure. And another guy I'm really excited for is Lerone Murphy. That guy, I think, is going to be really good. Khamazat, Chimaev, I want to see again. Mounir, Lazzez, I want to see again. That guy's, I think, is going to be really good. Even Taila Santos put on a really good performance. Jimmie Rivera, I'm sure we'll see again. Yeah, so all in all, it was a pretty good fight card. It was their second event at Yas Island on Fight Island. So yeah, that's a UFC Fight Night, Kattar versus Ige. Thanks for listening. Again, this is the Puncher's Chance MMA podcast. This is Rafael Cervantes. Much love.